Now, another reason, dear diary, pardon me while I belch. Another reason I would dare say, and I would love to debate this with a bunch of historians. Another reason dare say that I am the most important human being of all time is because I didn't simply just innovate like nobody's business in history. I innovate in every category. I even innovate in the weirdest ways that are that are unconscious. Example, I mean, there's thousands of stories like this that I don't even remember. This is one story that I accidentally remembered one day because something triggered it. When I don't know, I want to say around 7. I was crossing the street in front of my house, which was a one-way street. All of a sudden, this car comes flying the wrong way up the one way. And I, at 7-ish years old, instinctually, in a split second, I was like, I can jump to the left or jump to the right to get out of the way of this car, which is what people usually do. I instinctually chose neither, and I jumped up. My instinctual thought was to jump up. So the car, when he locks up the brakes, he's coming to a skidding halt. You don't want to be hit by the front end of the car. It's going to hurt. You'd much rather bounce off the windshield. So I instinctually, as a little boy, jumped up. And sadly, I was too young to clear the hood. My kneecaps, the very top of the car hood hit my kneecaps and hit the ground, a lot of pain. Guy picked me up, took me into my house. My mom was there and some other people. He's like, I'm sorry. I was, I didn't see him, da-da-da. I don't think he said, I was going up the wrong way. And then I was in a lot of pain. Like, oh, don't worry. Should we take him to the hospital? The guy says, they were like, well, let's call the police. And the guy's like, don't worry. I'm going to go turn myself at the precinct right now. Now, my mother, being a complete piece of garbage shit who never cared whether I lived or died, said, okay, good, thank you. Yes, you go turn yourself in the precinct. Thank you. The weirdest thing happened. I wonder if you could guess. I bet even you have ESP. To show you how smart human beings can be, I'm going to use my ESP right now to guess that you have ESP. You know exactly what that guy did. Because humans are completely predictable robots. That's right. He didn't go turn himself in. And most of the time when people have done bad things to me, they've gotten away. Actually, I should say every single time somebody's done bad things to me, they've gotten away. Even the times where it appears they haven't, they did. Even when I win lawsuit money, I still lost because they just stole the money from innocent taxpayers. All the bad guys win. Now, what I didn't realize, I mean, to me, it didn't think anything about it. It was just instinct. I jumped up. But everyone else, all the adults and stuff, were marveling. They're like, because I think the driver told them. And because I don't think I said I jumped up. Or maybe one of us said jumped up and my kneecaps hit the front of the tip of the hood. But they were all marveling. They're all like, wow, that was really smart that you would think to jump up instead of left to right. And my whole life is endless examples of that kind of stuff. One thing that really impresses me about myself, because remember, I have to live with myself every day. You people don't know anything about me. There's a reason I've had the highest self-esteem since I was a little boy. And I do. I have the highest self-esteem in recorded history. You can talk to people when I went to junior high with. You can talk to my elementary school teachers. They'll tell you Christopher was one of the most confident, arrogant little geniuses I ever saw. And I'll give you a few more examples. But one thing, I'm juggling too many thoughts right now, which sucks. I can't even keep up with myself. But every day I blow my own brain. Oh my God. Just everything. My physical skills shock me. I'll be riding my bicycle drunk. I'll be finishing a slice of pizza. I'll crumple up the pizza plate in my left hand. And I'll be like, I got to throw this in the trash, but I'm in a hurry somewhere. Oh, well. I'm like, I'm going to have to throw it into the trash can. I'm a righty, not a lefty. I don't want to switch my hands. Fuck it. And I throw it. And 90% of the time, no matter how bizarre the shot is, what weird angle I am at, it goes into the garbage basket as I'm flying by it at 8 miles an hour. And I'm like, oh. Now, after 10 years of doing that and just being impressive every day, you would fall in love with yourself too. And I am in love with myself. I think I'm fucking awesome. I always did. Remember when I was 17 and I tried to kill myself and the fireman said, don't, Christopher, teenage years are tough and it's going to get easier as you get older. And I looked at them and I said, I'm not suicidal because my girlfriend broke up with me or I lost my job. I want to live in a world where nobody ever tells lies and there is never any violence. That's pretty reasonable, isn't it? I'm not asking somebody to give me a foot rub. I'm asking to find somewhere on this giant planet where there is no violence and there's no dishonesty. Is there what's the name of that country? Or no, really, you know, what's the name of that city? Oh, right, there is nowhere like that. I want to live somewhere that's reasonable, and there's nowhere on earth that is reasonable. And the two firemen were stumped. They're like, he wants to live somewhere where there's no lies and no violence? That is a pretty reasonable request. Yeesh. And that's why he wants to leave, huh? Even in the psych ward, there was me and another girl who was suicidal. She was like, didn't want to wash her hair. She's like, I don't want to eat. Fuck y'all. And then me, I'm in the bathroom showering forever, doing my hair. And they're like, Christopher, stop. What the fuck? How long are you going to work on your hair? It's like, he's not acting like a person who wants to kill himself. It's like, I don't want to kill myself because I hate my own self. I want to kill myself because I hate all you. And it's unfortunately, it's easier for me to kill myself than to kill all of you. I'm not joking. I would gladly kill the entire human race tomorrow. They really can't be fixed. They cannot be saved. They are a disease, the likes of which the universe will never see again, and hopefully won't. But so every day I blow my own mind. You have no idea. Nobody knows. Nobody's seen 90% of my illustration work. Nobody's seen 90% of my logo work, my architectural designs, my choreography. Everything I do is revolutionary, but it's not simply revolutionary. I'm not ahead of the curve. I go places where no one else is ever going to go, and we've seen that numerous times. Look at the Grad Effect system. We're talking 50 million, maybe it's probably more than that, 50, let's say 300 million guitarists from the time of Les Paul to today didn't figure it out? It's common sense. You want to be able to control your effects. You don't want to have it on or off. You know, like jing-a-jing, a jing-jing, jing-a-jing, jing-jing. It hits the fuzz box. Is everything on, off? You don't want any, nobody wants any kind of dynamics or control? Really? And I've always been a control freak. And I love that about myself. But I'm not a control freak when there's no need to be. I don't feel the need to be in charge, only when nobody else intelligent is in charge. I went on tour with the Trachtenbergs. I didn't need to control directions or anything. I sat back and relaxed because they mostly didn't fuck up. It's like, oh, cool. No responsibility. I love it. I don't want to be a control freak. I'm only a control freak because humans fuck up everything they touch. So then I have to go fucking clean up the mess. So going back to my childhood, dear diary, so many things I did. For instance, I became a pacifist at 9. Now, I had never heard of pacifism. Never heard of Gandhi, or any of those things. Gandhi said he stole pacifism from Thoreau. Martin Luther King Jr. said he stole pacifism from Gandhi, who stole it from Thoreau. Okay, I know you're all thieves. Very few human beings use their brains as idea generators. I've always used my brain as idea generators. I've always been a problem solver. One of the articles about me in New York Press was headlined, "The Problem Solver." You name a problem, and I will give you practical solutions very quickly. People fight me because they'll be like, you can't do that. That's not how people do it. Like, well, we don't care how people do it because people are stupid. A funny little anecdote. One day I was my first day as my first job ever. I was like, I want to say 15, not sure, working at Holiday Inn as a dishwasher. They treated me like shit there. One day I was walking home and there was a police car in the parking lot. It was a female cop, and for some reason we started chatting about something. I was asking her some questions, and we got talking about all kinds of stuff. And I think I had a giant eye or some design on my back of my jacket. And she's like, "Oh, you're a nonconformist." And I was like, "Nonconformist?" I was like, "Where have I heard that term before? Where have I heard that term before?" It's like, "Oh yeah, English class." I was lucky I was in an advanced English class, and they'd read like fucking all these famous books, and I didn't read any of them because I was busy working on more important things. I'm not on this planet to read other people's work. I'm on this planet to write my own shit, which is a lot more important than anything else anybody has written. But so I forget if I even made a point. I was like, nonconformist. Isn't that a Thoreau or Emerson, one of those two guys? I think I might have actually gone back and looked it up. But I was like, nonconformist, is that what I am? I know I just don't like all the fucking cliches and stupidity of the people around me and all the fucking rules and robotics. I've hated it since I was a little boy. Stopped lying at the age of 9 and 10 as well. My inspiration was my mother was really violent. I was a really violent little boy. And then one day when I was, 8 or 9, I realized, oh my God, how can I criticize my mother for being violent if I'm also violent? That makes me a hypocrite. I don't think I even knew what the word hypocrite was at the time, but whatever. It doesn't take a genius to figure out, wait a minute, this is hypocritical, this is wrong. But for some reason, every day, most human beings don't recognize their own hypocrisy. They can't police themselves. I used to have a bumper sticker in my car, I think, that said, question authority. Remember, the number one authority in your life is you. So all those things, I didn't know about any of that shit. When my mother took me to see the Gandhi movie when I was like 13, starring that Ben Kingsley, I didn't know much about him. I don't even know why she fucking took me to see the movie. We took the movie, though, the whole movie. I'm fucking elbowing, going, hey, wait a minute. Does that remind you of anybody? And she'd be like, ugh. I'm like, wait a second. What he's doing right there, that sure looks a lot like what I did last week, okay? Why didn't people tell me? If this guy's a messiah, if this guy's an icon, what the fuck does that make me? Of course, he was a scumbag lawyer, and I'm fucking, I just turned 13. What the fuck? So I've always had high self-esteem. I've always done extraordinary things since I was a little prepubescent boy. I've always proven adults wrong. And to this day, I still prove experts wrong in their own field every single time. It gets really boring. As a teenager, I said Darwinism doesn't even make any fucking sense. I'm not the only one. Lots of people figure that out. It's a no-brainer. There's no way Darwinism's correct. We cannot be descended from apes. That's not open to debate because the apes are still here. Were they hiding in a cave for 1 million years? Those ones didn't advance or evolve? Shut up. It's common sense that all humans do not descend from one origin source. Okay? Black people are not black because of the fucking sun. All right? That's retarded. That's like saying Asians are short because there were lower hanging tree branches. So they didn't grow as tall because of evolution as the fucking Greeks did. Shut up. That's stupid. It is clear if you've ever seen flowers in your life. Oh, there's a variety of flowers. They're all in the same family, but there's a really wide variety. Plants. In your lifetime, by the age of 4, you've seen a wide variety of plants. Are we to believe they all came from one plant? And then they all just evolved? Or were they all bred to be different? Shut up. Dogs. Oh, was it one dog and then they somehow bred them to create 15 different types of dogs? That's retarded. The theory of evolution is retarded. Obviously, there was a variety of humans that evolved at the same time. The Irish have very little in common with the Asians. The Asians have very little in common with the Greek. There's like 7 flavors of human. Okay? That's a no-brainer. That's common sense, but it isn't common sense. Of course, the truth is, you all would have figured that out too had you not accepted the brainwashing, if you had thought outside the box and ignored all the shit you were taught. Remember, I've always said that. I'm not a genius. I'm not even slightly a genius. I don't think I'm remotely a genius. I think the only difference between me and the other 7 billion human beings is I actually use my fucking brain. And you can't say people like Einstein used their brains. Look, Einstein didn't innovate in all these other fields. He was just a mathematician or whatever, a physicist who was fucking, wanted to make a name for himself. It was some fucking ego bullshit stuff. Anyone, I've always argued that I think most human beings would be smarter than me, because most of my life there was so much nutritional negligence, and I've beaten the shit out of my body my whole life. I live every day of my life like I'm a fucking Navy SEAL. I beat the shit out of my bicycles, my clothing, my gear, everything, because I live fast, I live hard, I don't have time, no mercy. Every day of my life is like a fucking serious military operation. And I beat the shit out of everything around me, including myself, because I don't have time to be fucking delicate. I have a lot of work to do. And I believe that most human beings have superior brains to me. Their brains are in better shape, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they don't use their brains. So what the fuck good is that? Now, I'm not saying I have to be the most important human being. I'm saying based on all factors of the human race so far, I'm irrefutably the most important human being. I'm not only the most important human being, I would argue that I am 10,000 times more important than the second most important human being. Da Vinci I really relate to, because Da Vinci had to do most of his shit undercover. Da Vinci, most people didn't know most of the stuff Da Vinci. Supposedly he wasn't even lionized until 300 years after his death. So there goes all your theories down the drain. We know people like Bach and Beethoven. Those guys are all fucking hacks. Mozart is a fucking fake. Mozart's a hack. You're like, oh, he wrote his first fucking opera at 4. Well, that doesn't count if his dad is a musician who trained him, does it? That doesn't count. Now, if he grew up where there was no musical instruments and he wrote his first opera, well, now that is pretty impressive. You understand? He got a head start. That's cheating. Like me, nobody helped me. Almost everything I've done in my life, from teaching myself Photoshop, teaching myself all these instruments. Nobody taught me any instruments. I've had to teach myself fucking everything because none of my friends are useful. No family. I didn't have any older people in my life who could show me things. So I've had to do everything myself, which is good in a lot of ways. It slowed the fuck down out of my progress, but it meant I don't just imitate what everybody else does. I am the world's foremost fashion designer, but you wouldn't know that. You couldn't know that. Nobody even comes close to me. I am easily the world's most important choreographer, but you'll never know that. You'll probably never see one of my pieces of choreography because you're going to see my choreography and go, I don't know why, but I think this is fucking fantastic. I would change the world of dance forever because dance is the most marginalized art form. Those people don't know what the fuck they're doing. I work at a dance theater. Those people don't know what the fuck they're doing. I've been called the funniest man on the planet Earth by strangers. I probably am the funniest man on earth. I've compared my shit to George Carlin and Richard Pryor. They're fucking hacks. And now again, you guys be like, oh my God, that's sacrilegious. That's sacrilegious. He called Bob Dylan a hack. Bob Dylan is a hack. Mozart is a hack. He isn't? Show me the most daring thing that Mozart wrote. Like, he broke the rules. Yeah, well, back then, you just change one note and you're a rebel. Come on, it doesn't count. Don't wear the pantaloons, you're a fucking rebel. Doesn't count. Okay? For me to be the most creative guitarist of all time after 200 million people picked up the guitar is outrageous. And it will never be replicated. You can't get a guitarist in 100 years to be smarter than me. You can't. It's not possible. Here's the problem. Not even 5% of my guitar work is recorded. I design shit that I can't even play yet because I don't have time. I don't have literally, I have no access to practice guitar. 0 hours a day can I practice guitar. Because I spent the last 3 years fucking couch surfing. I can't bring my guitar everywhere with me. I'm lucky right now I have a ukulele that I can carry around because it's so small. Things like that. I can't work on my art. So I have to take extensive notes. I have to describe a lot of my guitar pieces in writing, which is tricky. I've had to create my own notational systems that are architectural looking to design compositions and stuff like that. You'd never be able to figure that shit out. Excuse me?
Did you see which way Carla went?
Who's Carla? What does she look like?
Tall, slender, African-American.
No, she might have gone that way, though. I don't think she came this way. Let's end this part 2. We'll do a part 3. See if we can... Because I'm not making that compelling an argument yet. I'm making a semi-good argument. End of part 2.